we're live.
Oh boy, we're live. Sweet.
Sweet. So you're with you're either self-named or you're with which band?
I guess for this I'm kind of just focusing on myself. I got a few different projects going right now. I'm all over the place. Been super busy this past year and start of this year, so.
Right. I understand that. Oh, and when did you start doing music?
I started playing guitar, I mean, technically when I was like 11,
Hmm.
but kind of a half-assed version. I really started cracking down probably around the time I was 17 or so. So, uh,
Right.
like 7, 8 years.
Oh, okay. So
And as far as like playing live and actually making some money from it, just the past 3 years or so.
sweet. So you started playing guitar like who got you into it?
Well, I the band Kiss actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Huh.
their guitarist Ace Frehley. I saw him play a guitar solo, and I was like, "Wow, that's really cool." And just so happens, like that same month, I was in fifth or sixth grade. I think sixth grade, and the music teacher at my school got a bunch of classical nylon string guitars for the whole class, and that was kind of part of our music class. We all started learning like open chords and stuff, and I just kind of took to it right away. And I was like, man, I need to run with this. So
See
been
if I
doing
can
that
do
ever
something with
since.
it. Right on. So you mentioned Kiss inspired you. Who else inspired you?
Shortly after that, I Led Zeppelin. Really, a lot of Led Zeppelin to this day. That's probably my favorite band of all time. And when I really started getting into it around the time I was 16, 17, I mean, Cream, Hendrix, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, all those old
So the
school
old school,
bands.
yeah, that's what's up though.
Right.
Have you ever heard of did you ever listen to Judas Priest or anything like that? Or like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
hell yeah. My dad was a
Def-
huge fan, so I usually ask people that. I'm like, what about this band or that band? And Judas Priest usually comes up quite a bit. That and Iron Maiden and
yeah.
yeah, Dio and all that.
Yeah. Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, those are two really good, like, dual guitar bands. So
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah, like there's stuff like because some bands like from a while ago they kind of every once in a while some of them would sound like they kind of uh you could tell they kind of work separately, but it's just like
Right.
whenever you put Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and a lot of bands you said it just like works, but some of the band like some of the break off bands and everything like that it's like
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
have you met any of your heroes or anything like that or
What was that?
have you met any of your heroes or anything like that? Or
No. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, a lot of them are dead.
yeah, yeah, that's the
I
unfortunate part.
no, I none of them. It's a damn shame. I'd hopefully one day I'll at least get to meet one or two.
Right.
You know,
What would you do if you got to meet them?
probably blush, faint. I don't know. I mean, Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin. That would probably be my number one. If I could meet somebody, it would probably be him.
Yeah,
Either him or Clapton.
Clapton's pretty good. I remember. I don't know if you remember. Whenever the guitar exhibit was at the science center, I was
Yeah.
sitting there hitting the different pedals, and my friend Erica was with me, and she thought it was hysterical because I was sitting there hitting the different pedals, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds like this, and this sounds like a higher pitch," or I was
Right.
naming the different frequencies and the sounds I heard, and then I hit one pedal, and I go. Eric Clapton, and then I moved on, and she's just like, "What?" She's like, "You're going through all the different sounds you're hearing, and all of a sudden, Eric Clapton, and you keep going."
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have like ADD with pedals. That's why I don't really even have any pedals. It's I've the past couple of years since I've been making connections and playing live and kind of running with this thing, I've been exposed to a lot more gear. And because I'm old school, I typically just go like straight through a tube amp with like a wah pedal,
Oh,
and
really?
that's me. And
Oh, nice.
but I've been exposed, people have all this gear and different pedals and things, and I do enjoy it. But the problem for me is I like get so sidetracked with it that like I the playing suffers, I guess, because I'm so focused on tweaking pedals, and God forbid I'm doing it live. I've
Right.
learned that I can't step on a button and play at the same time. So if I have to just
Yeah,
flip one pedal off or on, the playing stops for a moment.
I feel you. Yeah, because
Yep.
I think a couple of the bands that I go and see, they have like whenever they're playing the drums, that's when the band will be long gone done after a song, but the drum will keep going, and it's just like, dude, stop! You gotta wait for the guy to move on to the crescendo over to the next song.
Right, right, right.
But did you ever go to
Yeah.
that exhibit at all, or?
No, I didn't. I forgot about it until you reminded me. I remember when that was there, but I never
Yeah,
got around to it.
I went on a whim because where I was working, they I got off early because it was like one house that we had to clean because I was cleaning at the time. And I was just like, well, I'm bored, so I need something to do. And
Yeah.
I had totally forgot. I had heard it on the point like a million times and everything, and then I just looked it up. I was like, what to do online? And then I saw that, and I'm like, well, tickets are $10 or $5 or something like that to get in to go see the guitar. Man, like seeing the history of the guitar and the amps and everything, like it was a treat that I
Yeah.
can't, you know.
Damn, now you're making me regretting. I'm regretting not going.
Sorry
When
about
was
that.
that? Was that what year was that?
That was maybe like a year or two ago. I think it was about 2 years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah, but I mean that was such a treat to do, and I wish more people. They had the world's largest guitar in there, the largest. Uh, I think it was a electric guitar.
Yeah.
And it was I was sitting there playing with it and everything like that, and they just had
Holy crap.
so much. Um they had they did have pictures of Kiss in there. I can't remember who else. I know they had Eric Clapton in there. Um Chuck Berry, they had pictures of him
Oh.
in there, and they would let you do they would let you play with some of the guitars that they had on display. Not like
Oh
in the
wow.
case, but there was a couple guitars on display. I think they were Fenders, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh well, that's cool.
Yeah, they were pretty cool. I didn't play with
Man.
the guitars, but besides the great big one, but
Right.
I was like, I'm gonna break it. I know I'm a klutz. If I touch it, it's gonna break, and then it's gonna be my fault.
Yeah. I'm known to break things accidentally from time to time, so I understand.
Yeah. I learned about different guitar strings too. Like I didn't. Is catgut actually catgut, or what is that just bullshit?
Is
Or do you
what?
know? Have you ever heard of catgut strings?
No.
Huh. I'm wondering if I think it might be bullshit. Like that's just what they call it. But um, the weirdest thing I saw there was like catgut strings, and I'm like,
Oh, catgut. Yeah, like
yeah.
like back in the day, like for nylon strings and stuff, they used to use gut material, like intestine, basically
Oh, okay,
from animals, like a sausage casing, basically. I think that's what
okay.
gut means.
So yeah,
But that's
cat.
like nowadays they use nylon for classical guitar strings, but a long time ago they used to use, you know,
Oh, nice.
intestine basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Probably not
Yeah.
cats, but yeah. Or at least I hope not cats. What's your
Yeah. Yeah.
uh what's your craziest experience either at a show yourself or one that you did? Um what was like something you seen that was just absolutely nuts or funny?
Um something crazy. Well, to be honest with you, I've aside from myself playing live, believe it or not, I've only been to like a handful of actual concerts in my
Right.
life. But one time, one of my first shows, something like really weird happened, and I still remember to this day. We were playing at this bar outside, and this was one of my first shows that I was getting paid for. And like in between sets, this guy came up to me, and he looked like, I mean, I don't know how to describe it. He was well dressed, and he just
Right.
popped out of nowhere. And he was, middle aged, maybe 50 or so, and he handed me a $20 bill.
Huh.
And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And he looked at me dead serious. This was so weird. He said, "How long have you been playing?" I was like, "Oh, and I told him." He's like, "Keep doing this." He said,
Huh.
he said you'll make it. He said, "Keep doing this, you'll make it." And I was like, "Oh, okay, thank you." And he looked at me dead serious and he said, "No, this is what you're supposed to do." And I like
Huh.
turned around to like put the 20 in my wallet or something, and I turned back and he was just gone. Like vanished. And like it wasn't a huge place.
Wow.
I would have been able to see him walking or something. It was so weird. He said, "Keep doing this. This is what you're meant to do," and then just vanished into thin air. I'm
Huh.
like, is this like that movie where Morgan Freeman is like God? I'm like, is
Yeah.
that what that
Well,
was?
that's
Is
a
that some sort of divine sign? It was super
right.
freaky.
It's
Yeah. So
uh in a lot of beliefs I follow, that's actually like a sign of some sorts. I'm kind of loosely pagan. I don't know how.
yeah,
I'm like but the way I was raised, it's like it's if somebody does something like that for you and all of a sudden they disappear, or if you're in trouble and all of a sudden someone appears and all of a sudden they disappear, something like that. It's kind of like I wouldn't really say divine, but it's like a spirit coming to you and telling you, this
yeah,
is trying to guide you in that direction. But that's quite interesting.
yeah. It was
I've
so
only
like I had
experienced,
chills. I had goosebumps. I was like, what the hell? It was so weird.
yeah, that's yeah, that's something we believe in. But yeah, it's quite interesting. I've only
Yeah,
encountered that like once, and that was when I was in a big kind of like trouble type situation, and somebody I'd never even met got me out of a situation, and felt like you said it was like really strange. It was just like, well, I've never seen this person before or again, so
yeah. It was super. Like he literally just appeared out of thin air, handed me $20, said that seriously, like dead serious, and then just vanished into thin air again. I was like, what is
right.
going on? Yeah. So
Maybe he did just run away really fast, but
yeah, well,
usually,
that's the thing.
yeah.
I literally turned, and because I was turning back to say thank you, I like turned my head for a minute. And I turned around, and he was like gone. And I told the guy I was playing with, I'm like, "Did you see that guy that was here? Did you see where he went?" It was so weird.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool though.
yeah.
What are you looking forward to as a musician?
Just expanding, I guess. I mean, it is the my one, true passion. I mean, I'm passionate about other things, but if there was
Right.
one main passion or main gift that I have, I'd say it was this. There's I can't think of anything that I'm better at than music. It's my greatest skill, greatest talent, however you
Right.
want to look at it, and I'm kind of just running with it.
From what
Seeing
I hear,
seeing
it
how
sounds
far I
like
can
it
go.
is, yeah. That's really cool though.
Yeah,
What's your favorite brand of instrument, or do you swear by a certain brand, or do you just like
Brent. I
anything?
mean, not real. I mean, once again, old school. I'm not a big fan of like all the new stuff, like the PRS stuff or anything. I'm
Mm,
basically a Fender Strat or a Les Paul. So
nice.
Gibson Fender,
Les
Gibson and
Pauls are
Fender,
pretty
pretty
nice.
much.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um.
Gretsch is cool. There's a lot of brands that are cool, but my main guitar is actually this here.
Oh,
It's a
it's
Les Paul.
pretty.
It's an Epiphone Les Paul, not a Gibson. It's a very expensive Epiphone Les
It
Paul.
looks like it. Yeah.
It's the priciest Epiphone they had in the store. I bought it for my 13th birthday. I saved up a bunch of money.
It's really nice
Um,
though.
but yeah, for me, I've played a lot of Gibsons. Like I have a friend who actually has a 1958 custom shop
Oh,
remake of a 58 Gibson Les Paul. It's like a $5,000 guitar,
wow.
and that's the remake. If it was the original, it'd be like $500,000 probably.
Oh,
But it was it felt great to play, but for whatever reason, I don't know. I just have a connection with this guitar, I guess, since
right.
I've played it for so long and
It's like your
been through
spirit
so
animal a
much
little bit.
shit with it. But yeah, I've always been a Les Paul guy until this past year. A friend of mine has a Strat. It's a it's the Eric Clapton Blackie model.
Right.
And man, I really struggled to play it at first because Strats and Les Pauls differ in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I was just struggling. But as time went by, I've really grown close to it, and I've really, gotten pretty decent on it. And
Hmm.
now I'm conflicted. Most people are either a Les Paul person or a Strat person, not both. It's one or the
Right.
other. And I'm right in the middle. I love them both.
I've heard a lot of people say they once they really branch out and start working with other guitarists, a lot of the opinion changes because a lot of people are
Right,
raised up on that stuff. Like their dad'll have like like you said, a Stratmore, or they'll have a Fender or an Epitone, and then they finally get their hands on something else, just like somebody passes
right,
it to them, or um it'll just be a chance thing where they just look at it, say, "Ooh, that's pretty," and then see the name on it and be like, I don't know, and then they play it and they're like, "Holy shit, I really like this
right.
thing."
Yeah, like I don't have like any super brand loyalty or anything like that. Like
Right.
my Epiphone Les Paul, I don't think is so inferior to a Gibson that it should be that multi-$1,000 difference.
Right.
It's really. I mean, with any instrument, once you really know how to play and have your heart in it, it's in your hands. Really, I mean,
Mhm.
Jimi Hendrix could have picked up a $50 Hello Kitty guitar, and it would
Yeah.
have sounded like Jimi Hendrix.
I mean, he
So
could play guitar with his teeth, so I mean,
right.
he was quite
I mean,
a
once you get to a certain proficiency, it doesn't really matter. It's.
yeah. I wish he was still around though. I mean, could you imagine the
So do I.
things the younger people could learn from Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, and heck, I'm not even a Leonard Skinner fan, but I mean, if they were still around, the things that kids could still learn, or younger people could still
Right.
learn from them, I
Oh
think
yeah.
it would. I would. It just stinks that they're not around anymore. I'd love to see Janis Joplin live, but she,
Oh, that
yeah,
would. She's
unfortunately,
my favorite female vocalist of all time, hands
right.
down, no contest. Just, I don't think anybody even comes close. Like nobody can replicate that voice. It's one of a kind.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Um, what was a challenge you face as a musician?
Challenge I faced as a musician. Really getting myself out there, I guess, in the beginning. When I was a kid and a teenager, I was really shy. And now I'm like the exact opposite of shy. Like, don't have a
Yeah,
shy bone in my body. So something just switched in my brain one day. And I mean, early on, it was just a lot of me playing along with, albums in my room. And
right.
then, as whatever switched in my brain, I became more outgoing and wanted to collaborate and kind of started putting myself in situations. And then, when that happened, I started getting positive feedback, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to keep going." But at
Right.
first, it was kind of hard to get a start. Um, but now it's crazy. The past 2021, 2022, and now this year, it's just like I'm taking off exponentially. Like it's crazy. Just the collaboration and all the different opportunities I've had is like it's like I'm living in
Yeah,
a
sounds
dream.
like your
Like it's
future is pretty promising, so.
so surreal. But aside from that, I mean, another challenge would be probably, and this wasn't a challenge that lasted long, but in the
Mhm.
beginning, like stage fright.
Right.
Like I remember my first show in an auditorium, like I was backstage before we went on, like shaking profusely. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was going to be able to play or what. But for whatever reason, as soon as we walked out on stage, it just went away. It's like, it's go time. Like it's, hit or miss. And ever since, I never get stage fright anymore. Like I get like butterflies, but like the excited butterflies, not the
Yeah.
nervous butterfly.
So you don't get nervous at all really anymore?
Not at all. Not at all.
What's the plans for the future?
Um, I really just keep pursuing it. I mean, collaborate as much as possible. eventually, I mean, like a big end goal would be to form my ideal group, really, and
Mm,
do all original material.
right.
But I mean, really, just spread myself as thin as possible, but in a good way, and get as much done, and work with as many people, and learn as much from other players as I possibly can.
Sweet. Do you have a dream venue you want to do, or like a dream concert you guys want to, or you want to go to, or like dream festival, anything like that?
Um, mm, Not necessarily. I mean, there's a lot of bands that I would like to see. Um, as far as festivals go, if I could, you know, play a festival or two at some point, that would be a dream.
Right. Have you ever wanted to go to like oh gosh, like Rock Ridge or where the hell am I thinking of? There's one down in Tennessee that I can't remember the name of, but it's like a huge event. I don't know if you had ever wanted to do that uh, or is it Tennessee or Kentucky? But it's got a huge lineup right now. It's got like Slipknot and um, I think Rob
Oh yeah,
Zombie and stuff. I think even Limp Bizkit is playing. But yeah, I was just like, I heard a few bands tell me they were just like, that's Rockville. That's what I'm thinking of. Have you ever wanted to play that one or?
yeah. I mean, as far as actually playing, like playing myself or with people there, yeah, it would be a dream come true to play any festival, really.
Right.
But I mean, if I could go back in time, I would love to go to Woodstock. that would
Yeah,
be
that would be really cool.
that would be incredible.
I've heard some of the videos on it. I've heard some of the videos that it was kind of chaotic, but I mean, what festival isn't complete and utter
Right,
chaos?
exactly. I mean, festival is supposed to be to some degree.
Exactly. I went to the Gathering of the Juggalos years ago when I was all into that stuff, and it was just
Yeah.
utter insanity. But it was fun. It's worth it because you get to meet so many artists you didn't expect. Like you know who
Right.
Static X is, right?
What?
You know who Static X is, right?
Yeah.
I got to meet Wayne Static and the drummer. It was
Oh.
very brief, but it was basically we're gonna stop by, say hello to the fans on the side of the gate, and then go up. Met a couple of the people from Guar. Again, very brief. It was just like, hey, how you doing? And
Wow.
then they were just like, oh, do you like it? Like, the drummer was like, do you like my drums? I just got them, and then he just gone.
Oh well,
um,
he didn't even wait for a response.
he did. He was just like, "Oh, I gotta go out." Like as soon as I said, "Yeah, they look great," and he was just like, "Okay, we gotta go." And then,
Yeah. Well,
I
that's
did.
cool. Even just getting to
Yeah,
meet people, in the groups for even a couple seconds is, fun.
I think the only person I really got to meet was like Tech 9, and it was maybe for a few minutes, and
Yeah.
then he just jumped back on the golf cart, and he was is just like, "They'll stop for a minute." And then if you go to the DJ tent, you can meet a few more people, but usually it's everybody's so tired. They're like, "We just did a set today,
Oh
we're
yeah, I'm
out."
sure. Very very hectic day for everybody. I'm sure.
Yeah. Um, do you have any hobbies outside of music, or is it all just
Um, Mostly music. I mean, I like anything outdoors. Really. I mean, camping,
yeah.
hiking, backpacking, things of that nature, float trips, going out on rivers and boats, and typical southern Missouri stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand all that. We go camping quite a bit, so we're hoping to go to
Yeah.
my friend, he's got, I don't know if you're into burns, like where they create like a statue thing out of wood and then they burn it or anything
Yeah.
like that. My friend goes to a lot to those, and him and my other friends trying to get me and my husband to go.
Yeah. That's cool.
Do you recommend any other bands I should check out or?
Um, like 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 well known bands, or like people I know that
Um,
are
people you know.
Okay. Yeah, there's a Fry Project is one.
Fry Project?
F FRY. Yeah, Roy Fry. It's his band. They're a trio, a power trio. They're great. They're
Okay.
all very. I know them, all three of them. Four. They have two drummers. I only met one of the drummers, but Bob, the bass player, and Roy on guitar. They're phenomenal. All three of them. So I
Okay.
actually sat in with them on Christmas Eve on the 23rd. So
Oh, nice.
they're cool guys, and they're I mean, a three piece, that's always been like one of my favorite setups because you really gotta, everybody has to really bring the thunder for it to work. So,
Right.
there can't be, nobody can be slacking because, there's only three people. So, yeah, they're cool. A friend of mine, Dan, he has a page called The Dan Effect.
The Dan Effect. I
Yeah,
like that name.
he's a very talented guy. It's kind of just a solo project, but he's a powerhouse of a drummer, and he has a incredibly powerful voice. And he
Mm,
also plays some guitar too in a very unorthodox but original way. He like tunes the guitar open and sets it across his lap and kind of plays chords, with his
right.
thumb, and then strums it while he sings. So yeah, he's a kind of a jack of all trades with that type of thing.
Right on. I know Atreyu, he's Atreyu, one of my I was talking to uh my buddy in the last interview, and we talked about Atreyu, how the drummer sings and drums, which I don't know how he does it because it's like
Right,
I
right,
have ADHD, and it's just like I don't know why. It's just like I'd be too focused on making sure the drum sounds right than to start
right.
talking while I'm doing
Yeah,
it.
singing drummers are hard to come by.
Yeah. It's just like, how do you focus? Because I don't know how I can't even begin.
Another guy is a friend of mine. His name is Eric Ryan. Eric with a K.
Okay.
He is just, I mean, he's an incredible musician. Like, just incredible. I mean, he sings, he can play some acoustic guitar, but what really stands out is his ability on the drums. Like, he is a virtuoso prodigy drummer. He's the best drummer I've ever witnessed in my entire life. And I've ever seen in person. He's just incredible, like a savant level skill on the drums. It's really, I was shocked the first time I saw him play the drums. I was like, holy crap! I mean, he's like a mixture of like Buddy Rich and John Bonham, and Keith
Oh,
Moon, if they
nice.
had a love child. I mean, he's really incredible.
Yeah, it's that's why I started doing this is because there's so many good artists that are overshadowed or just nobody ever takes the time to look at them, and
Right, right,
it's sad, and it's just like no, that's not going to happen anymore because I'm gonna do my best to push what I'm doing as far as I can to get you guys
right.
heard.
Well, yeah, and you could make your YouTube channel bigger and help kind of promote other people, and then as far as musicians go, just the connections and collaboration, that type of thing could really,
Right.
something like this could really help out with that.
Absolutely. So, do you have any social media plugs you want to leave in? I can put in.
Yeah, I mean, my Facebook really would probably be first and foremost just
Okay.
my name, Jordan Kernebeck.
Okay.
Um, that's like I've my archives of videos are basically, if anybody, I mean, I'm always looking for more collaboration. So if anybody needs like a guitarist to lay down some tracks in the studio,
Right.
or looking needs someone to join their band, or looking for a guitarist,
Think I know a
anything
guy,
like that.
so I could probably get you guys to talk and everything.
Yeah, just whatever collaboration is, I'm I'm down to try it out basically.
Right.
Um, but yeah, my Facebook, if anybody wants to is curious about my playing, there's a lot of videos on there, and I have an Instagram, but I haven't used it in years, so I probably wouldn't even bother with that. So
Right.
yeah,
But yeah, I'll leave your Facebook and everything in the oh God, in the description. Sorry, my brain's not working today.
okay,
But yeah, I'll leave your information and everything in the Facebook. But yeah, that's the end of the interview. And thank you for coming in. Your name
awesome.
your name is Jordan.
Sure. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Have a good day.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.